Welcome to Behind the Bar podcast, brought to you by myself and my co-host Daniel. Take it away, Daniel.
So today's topic question, it's going to be the motivation myth, why you won't always feel like it, and why that's fine. So the first question, what do people really mean when they say they've lost motivation?
They've lost motivation. Probably it's like the shiny object syndrome has gone in a way. Lost motivation. Motivation is only ever momentary. And you can't survive on motivation alone. So once you've gotten that initial motivation, it's about finding then the motivation again, I suppose, and again and again and again. But you need the why over the motivation. Yeah, you need like more of a why over the motivational thing. But what was the question, Dan?
What do people really mean when they say they've lost motivation?
Lost motivation. Yeah, I think it is just that shiny object syndrome has gone from that initial thing. It's like they've done it, woo!
Yeah.
And then gone.
It's one of my buzzwords that I always really push it down straight away when anyone says it. So like if I get a new client and they're like, what do you need help with, this, that, and the other? And it's like, I need you to give us motivation. And straight away, I'm always like, I can't give you motivation. Nobody can. But you shouldn't be looking for it either. What I can give you is a set of habits to introduce into your life that will make it easier to do the things that you need to do to hit your long-term goals. But in terms of day-to-day motivation, forget about it. Nobody can give you motivation, and you shouldn't rely on motivation.
Yeah, I've been asked before, like, how do you stay so motivated? And it's not. I've just created a series of small habits over time, which is who I am now and what I do on a daily basis.
But it's like, genuinely, how many days that you train do you actually feel motivated to train?
50%?
Yeah, at best.
Yeah, 50%. But I have done a little trick lately. So what I don't know if I said to you the other day.
No.
So it was like I couldn't be bothered to bench the other day, and I knew I had quite big numbers to hit. And it was like, right, well, because I can't be arsed, I'm going to put more weight on the bar. Just, and even if I got less reps, whatever else, It was like, and then that's forcing us to do it, but inside it's giving us a little hype up of that I have to do it.
I've done similar, but the opposite way around. Like I used to do it with running. If I had to say like I was going to go and do a 10K, go like, look, I can't be bothered. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run to the top of the street. And if I can't be bothered, I'm just going to go up around the top and come back down. By the time I get to the top of the street, I always just go and do my proper run that I should have been doing. Because the hard bit's just getting yourself out the door.
Yeah, getting the trainers on.
Yeah, it's not motivation. It's just getting yourself to go. It's habit. So, why do you think so many people only take action when they feel ready to?
You're never ever going to be ready, no matter what. But why do people feel they're only going to take action when they feel ready? Nobody is ever ready. It's such a tough one, that, because no matter who has actually, whenever anybody has, say, walked through our doors or phoned us up and they say they're ready, they're not.
Yeah.
Like, as much as they feel ready in that moment, 90% still haven't. The success rate for all of this, I'm sure it's only like 5%, 3% for a successful, huge transformation, like where they've came in, like when they've been truly ready. Because even if you look at like all of our clients in the past, thousands and thousands, you've got to look at the people who's actually came in, done it precisely, and then done it forever.
Yeah.
And let's say for Nikki's, she's the perfect example. Of where she came in, did it, I'm doing 10,000 steps per day, I'm hitting me 1,700 calories per day, and she just did it, and then that was it, and that was forever. And she nailed it. How many have we had of that?
Not many. Although I do think our statistics would actually be higher than the general, The 95% failure rate is obviously for lifestyle change across everyone. And what it is 95% of people that lose weight will regain it within 5 years.
Yeah.
I do actually think that our percentage is probably a little bit better than that because of the way we're trying to coach things,
Yeah.
but it's still on the lower side.
Yeah.
And I think there's a misconception with, normally when people say they're ready, there's an external reason for that. Something's happened that's made them decide that they want to make a change, and that's why they think they're ready. But realistically, they're not, because there's no such thing.
When they're ready, that motivation in itself has normally come from a darker place of they're ready because the doctors have fucking told them. The partner thinks they're fat.
Yeah.
The partner's left them. Like we've all heard the divorce diet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not an internal motivation, which it has to be.
Yeah, and it comes from a negative thing, but the negative thing has motivated them, but then they've been forced to be ready then.
Yeah. But I think also there's a general misconception that there's some sort of like, that when people do make these sorts of changes, that like the stars have aligned for them, that like some amazing things just opened up in their life of like, there's no stress, there's no problems, everything's just perfect. And they just wander along the yellow brick road to fitness, and it's like, that doesn't happen. Like nobody has it easy. Nobody has like a free run at this. There's always going to be more obstacles and more hard days than there is easy days. All you can ever do is try to create robust strategies that allow you to navigate the difficult days. You can't just hit a brick wall every time they come along, because those obstacles are always going to exist, no matter how ready you feel or how motivated you feel. And motivation's the quickest thing in the world to go.
I don't know if you're going to be touching on like micro motivations or anything like that, but when people get hyped up just at the sight of an Instagram post, the favorite, I've like they'll see someone deadlifting, or right, that's it, I'm gonna deadlift 100 kilos, like not realizing it takes 6 months. But those are like, I'm not against the micro motivational stuff.
Definitely not.
Because some days, a good motivational song, like if you're, say, driving at the gym and you're feeling down or whatever else, but then you put one of your hype songs on, that's like a momentary piece of motivation to get you in. And I do believe in those little sectors, but some people use that motivation as, I'm going to change my life, not realizing like you can use those micro motivational pieces as a tool for that moment, but then that moment stops.
Yeah.
So instead of using it like for what people think, right, this is it, it isn't going to last. It's like, but this is it for that moment.
So I suppose you could say that your motivators have to be scaled to the what you're trying to achieve. So a micro motivation, like singing a song or something like that, is great when the outcomes to achieve a micro goal, get to the gym and do a session. Great, they correlate. But if your overall motivation is, I need to change my life so I can add 10 years to it, then the motivation of listening to a song isn't going to help you achieve that. But a micro motivation can definitely help you achieve a micro goal.
Yeah.
But in order to achieve the bigger goals, there needs to be a bigger underlying reason, a bigger why. And it's important that you recognize the scale of those, like those little motivations that we experience every day aren't going to help you achieve the bigger goals, but they can be used as a mechanism to help you achieve the smaller ones that are essential along the way to achieving the bigger goals.
It is one of the worst things, what me and you hear, I've lost my motivation.
Yeah.
Or like, help us find some motivation.
Yeah.
Like you said there, we can't help you find motivation at all. We can give you all the tools and techniques to get what you say you want, but I don't even like the word motivated.
I don't. I really, really don't like it.
What a shit topic.
And I think, well, the reason it's not a shit topic though is because clients love it.
Yeah.
And it's how many times do we hear it, and how many people watching this are looking for motivation.
Yeah.
And it's the wrong thing to be looking for. The total wrong thing.
I'll tell you what, though, on the micro motivation things where I've been covering Joe's 6 a.m. session, like I get them hyped, especially Kieran Pinckney. Like I posted a few things about Kieran, and he was on the podcast the other week. Right. He was on the podcast the other week. Because I have been coaching, and it is, he comes in, we chest bump. Do you know what I mean? And I get him hyped up. But that's just in that moment. Yeah. But it's helping.
Yeah.
And that kind of motivation there. Like, whenever I am covering or whoever else, and I know they've got big lifts, like I coach Jonathan Searle through the app, even though he trains in the Sunderland gym. And it's like, no matter what you do, you're getting your fucking bench press numbers on Friday. Yeah. And then I message him afterwards, did you get your numbers?
Yeah.
And just those micro motivations do help. So I do like it, especially in the clientele world. It's like, motivation can be a good word, I suppose. It's not a shit word, it's not a shit topic. But yeah, clients love the word motivation, and yeah.
It just doesn't translate very well into long-term goals. But I think people are massively fickle as well with like what they really want. In a sense of like, when people say they've lost motivation, I always go back to like their original form.
Yeah.
So it's like, right, well, when you started, this is what you said you wanted to achieve. I think we both agree you're not there yet. Has that changed? Like, is that still where you want to be? Or have you changed the direction you want to go? Normally it's, well, no, that's still where I want to be. And it's like, well, originally, you were obviously motivated enough to start in order to achieve that outcome, and you haven't yet achieved that outcome. So surely the desire to get there still exists. And obviously, normally they'll go, well, yes. It's like, well, there's your motivation. That's still why you're doing it. You just need to keep doing it and basically just find a way to do it on the days that you don't feel like doing it, because there's going to be more days you don't feel like doing it than days where you do. And that's what people misunderstand. They think that people who are in shape and people that train every day jump out of bed like a jack in the box and just can't wait to get to the gym and eat a salad. It doesn't happen. No. It's just, no, we don't feel like that. Nobody's perpetually motivated. Most days you're dragging your ass to the gym and making yourself do things just because you know that they're the things that you need to do in order to achieve the overarching goal. Next one. What's the difference between being motivated and being disciplined, and why does it matter?
Like I touched on in the start, it's like discipline and motivation's in the same category. The discipline is, I don't even think there's a thing such as discipline in a way. It's a series of small habits what you build up over time. So say from a beginner's standpoint, I can't eat protein every meal. Like, you'll hear that, do you know?
Like,
it's hard to eat protein. But for me, like, so you can use the word discipline. It's like, well, I've just put protein in every meal. It's took us a long time to do that, but it's there, and it's just now a complete and utter habit. So it's not even discipline for me. It's what I do.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's one of them things where everyone, like, 1% better every day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then that, if you are just changing those small things, like a few people now, like even people who I've coached for years, are still like, I need to like do this and I need to do that. It's like, right, you're gonna fucking stick to one breakfast.
Yeah.
That's it. You're not allowed to change the breakfast, nothing. But I'm gonna change that one breakfast for you. This is what you're gonna have. It's gonna be a fucking 5-egg white 2-whole egg omelette with some ham, and that's it. And if you can have that for then, and then we can start changing something else. Says that's going to reduce all these calories, and you're going to get a high protein meal in there. It's just one simple thing what you're going to do. I mean, by the time this comes out, we'll see if they've actually done it. But then that's that one thing. Yeah. It's like and it's a big change. And if you can then master that, then you can add and add and add, and then it's not discipline.
Yeah, it's habit.
It's just habit. Yeah. And obviously the motivation line into all of that is obviously going back to why the questions and why the this. But if we can make that habit in play, then you're going to get to your eternal why, but yeah.
Do you think discipline's more important when people are earlier in the journey because there's more friction?
Yeah, you've got to make changes. You do, I suppose then discipline does come down to it because it's unraveling the bad habits of many years of families and stuff like that. But yes, like, I think if I could coach somebody like from beginning to end, and they actually listened to what I said. And let's say they were overweight, but they did want to build a fantastic physique. I'd love it to be disciplined from the very start. And I think if they can crush past those bad habits, this is fucking impossible to do with anybody.
Yeah.
You can't go from that to fitness person straight away. But if you could, like you would, it'd be amazing.
I think it kind of borders on something we touched on at the seminar where we're on about like people's sort of personalities and stuff like that. And it's like you can get a very disciplined, focused person who's out of shape. And it's going to be far easier to get that person into shape than someone who's just a much flakier person. Like, unfortunately, with like society, it's a pyramid. There's going to be people who are more adept at being hyper-focused, hyper-driven, hyper-successful, and there's going to be people who just can't. And obviously, if you're that way inclined, it's always going to be far easier to make a change wherever you are. Like I said, from where you are to where you want to be, if you have those traits ingrained into your personality, it's going to be far easier to make the changes. Whereas somebody who just doesn't have that drive is always going to struggle a little bit more. And I think that's just the harsh reality of society and life in general.
So why do we have fat businessmen?
But I guarantee those people, if you were to give them really good coaching and really good strategies and give them a really solid plan, they'd probably be quite adept at following it. It's just not something that they're focused on. It's not something, they have the skills to do it, they're just not currently pursuing it. Yeah. I think that would be.
So would you say, stick on the top of motivation. So what would then switch the motivation for those kind of people?
A lot of the time, they realise
health, isn't it?
They realise that the health's suffered, and it's like if you've dedicated your life to making yourself a millionaire, and then all of a sudden you think, hold on, my health's deteriorating quite rapidly. Like I want to actually be able to enjoy the spoils of like all the labour that I've put in. Then that's normally the switch, and you do see it that these people will discover health and fitness a little bit later in life because they want to regain the energy to be able to enjoy the fruits of the labour.
And if they'd only looked after themselves all them time, they could have had fun all the time with half the wealth.
Well, yeah. or you could argue, would they have got to the point? But I do think there's definitely a lot to be said of like some people are just a lot more adept at carrying out instructions and sticking to a plan. Some people aren't. And it's important to recognise where you fall in that, and also like how to help yourself avoid those behaviours.
So how do you stay motivated? If we can use that phrase.
It's not motivation. That's the thing. It's like I've got an overarching idea of where I want to be, but over the years I've just built habits that continuously push me closer to that. So every day I don't wake up and think, right, this is where I want to be in 10 years' time or 20 years' time. It's just, right, today I need to do this. And every day I just know exactly what I need to do each day or each week in order to keep moving forward. And like having short, medium and long-term goals. Like straight away, like for example, the seminar was a big short-term goal. It was something I had to prepare for. But as soon as that's done, it's like I need to find something else to think about. And it's like, right, I'll focus on that now. And then once you get there, it's like, right, what's the next thing? It's always having those midpoints. If you're just looking at that like 20 year ahead, you're never going to get any closer to it. You need to be having little small things that can be achieved with daily tasks and daily outcomes, because then you're getting that success. You're getting that sense of achievement. It's like if you go to the gym and have a good training session, yeah, my goal is to get stronger, but I can't get stronger in one session, but I can hit a PB and things like that. And it's like you get a sense of achievement from that. So if you're getting little wins along the way, and those little wins keep you wanting to move towards the end goal.
Yeah. I suppose motivation in a way, like I need to lose 60 pounds or something like that. Okay, well, it's going to take you a year. That motivation isn't going to fucking last. And
No,
it's
not at all.
too far, too big of a goal, especially if it's like, right, in a year's time, we're going to do a photo shoot in a year's time. You've got to be 60 pounds down for that, right? Motivation isn't going to be there. And this is one of the things, like, say, with our shred, it's like, right, the shred starts in 2 weeks. And it's only going to be for 12 weeks' time. Your motivation in those 12 weeks is going to be at an all-time high because it's a shorter framed goal. rather than that longer frame. Yes, your overall goal might be 60 pounds, but in that 12 weeks, you could probably drop fucking half that
Yeah.
rather than 6 months.
Yeah.
You can drop it in 3 months what you would in 6 months.
Yeah.
Easy.
Definitely. I think that goes on quite nicely to the next question, which is what happens psychologically after you achieve a big goal like a shred? And why do so many people struggle with that post-goal sort of come down?
What is it? The gold medal syndrome.
Yes, I think the best one I ever heard talking about was Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Because he was
Yeah,
on
yeah,
about saying
yeah,
like
yeah.
his whole life had literally been from the moment he could walk, he had a pair of boxing gloves on his hand, it was become the world champion. And then the day after he did it, it was just absolute blackness. Just what, like, I've got nothing else in my life. I've done the only thing that my life ever seemed there to do.
Yeah.
And then obviously he took a spiral because you don't have that next thing.
He was. That's a really good. His is a really good story actually, because it relates to so many things. Because it is like we can go back to us with the shred. I know the shred isn't exactly a world champion boxing.
No, but it's the same thing. It's you geared up for something, you get it, and then afterwards you feel lost.
Yeah, and with our shred people, like especially those last few weeks, I am saying this is the plan afterwards. This is what you've got to do. Your steps are going to go down, so you've got to stick to fucking pretty much the same diet because your activity levels are going to drop. Because the first thing what's going to go out the window is that extra activity because that's what's been taking up your time. And people are goalless after that, even though we try to pepper it home about your new goal is still track your calories, but it's like at this calories. Your goal is just to say 2,000 calories, yeah? Your goal is just that. That is your goal, but that goal is so... It's nothing exciting. It's because the goal of like, yeah, we're all on it together as a group. The photo shoot, class. I'm gonna look mint. I'm like, have photos with my friends. Celebration at the end. Next goal: eat 2,000 calories daily.
People always say like, what's the hardest part? And I always say like, maintenance or bulking is way harder than dieting.
Yeah.
Because with dieting, you get so many wins. Every week you get a win.
Yeah.
You get a little drop in the scales. You get something that keeps you motivated and keeps you going.
Yeah, you do. Don't
and
you?
every week it's like, like it's quick focus. Quick. You don't get any quick wins at maintenance or bulking because the only gains are muscle gain, which is slow as fuck.
Yeah.
Or strength gains, which is slow as fuck. So it's like, in 6 months' time I can lift 5 kilograms more. And there's no quick wins. So it's like and you're doing it for much longer. If you diet and you're dieting for 12 weeks, if you're maintaining or bulking or trying to go in that direction, you're doing it for maybe a year or for 10 months, and it's like, it's not aimless, but you're just meandering along, and it's so hard to stay focused. And to me, that's the most advanced skill that anyone can develop, and it's why so many people never ever get to that point of progress. They just end up dieting down, then they'll just put a bit more weight back on. The diet down, they put a bit more weight back on. They never actually get that longer term progress because it's wandering into the wilderness.
I like what you've said there because what I've just figured out there in my beautiful brain. So where you said about like you're getting a win every week on the weight loss thing, but you're not on the maintenance thing. But in a societal factor, right, weight loss is wins.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Weight loss has always been this goal. Everybody's like, I've lost a pound, I've lost 10 pounds, da. Even us, fucking whoever's lost fucking 27 kilos. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We celebrate weight loss more than I've hit an extra rep this week.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
And for me and you who are trying to add a bit mass, it's like, I mean, should we really be normalising this, Dan?
So what I do is with my clients and stuff, most of my onlines, if they're trying to maintain, the big focus of their check-in is always celebrating the sessions. Look, you're lifting more, you're doing stronger. If they're trying to lose weight, it's celebrating the scales.
Yeah.
And I'll shift my focus depending on what language I use, because the language we use as coaches and the way that we approach things matters massively. And it's like, if we can get in the habit of celebrating those things and keeping reinforcing those as wins, then it's going to help them feel more motivated. Whereas if like the first thing you say is, oh, your weight's up, your weight's up, yeah, your weight's up, even though like that's actually what we're trying to achieve,
Yeah.
people take it as a negative because just deep down on a subconscious level, we're trained to not like the scales going up. Whether we like it or we don't, whether we even realise we're doing it, deep down in there, something resents it.
Yeah. Because somebody, you say they're on a weight loss journey, right? the normal person, every single week they'll post on, I'm down a pound.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, right?
Oh, of course.
But I'm not there on my story. I've gained a pound, I've gained a pound, I've gained a pound.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that every week.
Yeah.
But I should be, because that's my goal.
Yeah.
And I'm winning.
Yeah.
But but we are so used to like the weight loss being the big goals and wins of life. To be fair, people, ever since we've been in the industry, and it hasn't just been a regular thing, people will post a PB of the lifts.
Yes.
But I think we only post a PB maybe of a 1 rep or a 3 rep or something like that.
Yeah.
When in fact, really, if you get a 10 rep max, it should be celebrated.
If you do a set of 12, well, last week you could only do 10.
Yeah.
It's all a PB. People just don't necessarily recognise as any increase in volume. If you lift 10 kilogram more in total volume than you did the week before, it's a PB.
Yeah.
People just don't see that progress as being as valuable as the weight. And it's like all of the things that we measure, your strength progress, your weight, your pictures, your steps, your consistency within your food tracking, they're all equal.
I know, yeah.
But but everyone always places weight on the pedestal as if it's the most important metric because of the societal culture that we've all evolved and grew up with. I do think there's been a change in a sense of being strong is now more celebrated than ever, which is great because for most people, especially women, if you go back to the 90s and that, like size 0 was just how small can you be?
Yeah.
Now there's a lot more of like getting strong, lifting weights, all that. And it is good because it's removing the constant negativity associated with health and fitness. And like I was talking to Sarah yesterday about something I wrote, and we were talking about like the language you use around children and stuff. It's like with my niece, it's like she knows we're trained, but it's like we train to get strong.
Yeah.
We eat meat to build big muscles. You're not saying like, I'm dieting to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I want to be skinny. Like the language is totally changing. There's a totally different like culture evolving. Yeah. Which wasn't there previously.
Last night, so when I finally got in the house last night, Sarah said, Castor, what do you eat? He had noodles when he first got in, he had meatballs and pasta, he had a bag of crisps, and then he had cheese strings, and then he had another meal or something. And that was just in the space of the night. His belly was massive, right? And like Sarah was getting, honestly, it was just sticking out. And as he went into bed, he was getting, well, I'll be massive tomorrow. But that's the language we've used.
Yeah.
Like to try and like get your muscles, do you know what I mean?
But yeah, it was interesting because it was an evolving thought process actually, and I think it's an interesting one with regards to motivation. And like I said, I think so much of it because people lose focus when they're not having that motivation of losing weight. Try to find motivation in other areas other than that, like in the fact of like getting stronger, stuff like that, and that makes a massive difference because there's far more, those wins are going to occur far more frequently.
Yeah. And that, do you know what, like just from talking to you there, so like that's prompted me now, I'm going to just share the shit out of people when they've done a 10 rep, when they've done whatever else. Because the amount of times I do actually say, like when I am covering one of the coaches, is like, how many did you get last week? Oh, I got 10 last week, I got 12 this week. Fucking there's a PB. So it's like, I'm going to celebrate every fucking little one. I am going to be the man who normalizes this now, Dan. Okay, this is going to be better than weight loss.
But it's that thing of like, how often we do 4 shreds a year?
Yeah.
So there's like 4 moments where obviously
we've done 3 this year.
We'll have these results to be like, look.
Yeah.
But like, that's not what we'll do. Like, most of what we do is the wins that the clients experience every day by lifting more weights,
Yeah.
and they're all strong as fuck. But like you say, everyone falls into the trap of celebrating that, and I think it's because, obviously, from a business perspective, you have to sort of promote what sells and what motivates people from the outside in. And if you were just posting people lifting all the time, it probably wouldn't get your clients in initially who, because of the way it is, it's like, it's hard because the way we see things from this side of the double glass, like
Yeah.
the see-through glass mirror thing, is totally different the way clients see it.
Yeah.
And initially, if you just say, we'll get you strong, like, yeah, we don't want to be skinny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's there's a disconnect.
But even for the clients, so let's say for our clients, the demotivation, because I think this is what we'll probably have to do. It's like, we need to probably motivate them more on the actual wins. I mean, Joe always posts every single Friday, like, what's your big wins and stuff like that, and loads of people get involved. But people are people, even though they're winning, and then they step on that scale and it's went up a pound.
Controls everything.
That, going back to the whole motivation thing, then they're demotivated.
Yeah.
Even though they've had, out of 4 sessions, fucking 20 in the 10,000 steps every day. Like, they've had 20 wins that week. £1, demotivated.
I think, like, it's the reason why a lot of people say, don't weigh yourself. I couldn't disagree with that more, because it does not fix the problem. Because if a client, it doesn't matter how long they choose not to weigh themselves, eventually they're going to step back on the scales.
Yeah.
And chances are, if they haven't been monitoring or tracking it in some capacity, it's not going to give them the reading that they want.
Yeah.
And regardless of how they should feel about that number, it's just going to knock the shit out of them. What they need to do is, it's the desensitization of weighing yourself all the time and forcing yourself and checking yourself and telling yourself every single day that you get on that, and reinforcing in your head why it's changing.
Yeah.
And that's the win. That's what needs to happen. We can't just hide from it, because hiding from problems does not fix problems. The way you fix problems is by addressing them and facing them head on and changing the little voice in your head. What are some things you personally do to stay consistent when you're not feeling it?
Just accepting it, I think. If I really, really didn't want to do a session, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I would just accept it. It's like, well, you're going to feel better tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's like, that's fine. People think that's like a problem. That's fine. Like, you don't have to do things at specific times. It's okay to feel and to change things based on that, as long as you get it done in the end.
I mean, this year was the first time I've ever had a deload, ever. I know. But it was because, like, obviously I was coming back from a few issues and stuff like that, but then I really hit it hard in the gym, and I was going to Pooley Bridge with the kids. And I did want to spend time with the kids, so it was like I was there for 4 days, and it was like, right, I am actually, like, I think it was 8 weeks of hitting it as hard and as heavy as I could, maxing out reps left, right, and centre. And I put that deload in, but it was like, I think that really did us the world of good, where I didn't have then those kind of thoughts, what you've just said there. So it was like, what was the question again? I always get off track with it.
What are things you personally do to stay consistent when you're not feeling it?
Yeah, but that helped us to then not have those feelings. But if I ever do have those feelings, it is just like, I'll start again tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I never let those go into 2 days or anything like that. I've got one rule when it comes to training. If it gets, I'll only ever have 2 days off.
Yeah.
That's it. Like that's one of my. It's only a rule to me in my head.
Yeah.
It's like nobody could give a shit. But that's one rule in my head. If I go if it's more than 2 days, I have to do a session, no matter how bad I feel, unless I'm fucking on the unless I'm really flawed. In the way that I've developed that over the years, like if I ever have done that where I've had 3, I feel minging.
Yeah.
I feel as though I've just got so much pent up fucking stuff. I've got to release it and all the rest of it. I've got to get out the house, whatever else. like I've got to hit a training session or something like that, but it's something what I've developed over the years, but it's coming back to it all. It is just, so what, it's only a day.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else with regards to that? Anything else you do?
I don't know, do you know something I do?
No, I'm just curious. I'm just wondering if you had any more with obviously food, not just with training, with everything.
If I'm not feeling it with food, same again. Like honestly, it's because of all the little habits I have built up over the years, and it does take time for everybody to actually like to get into them. Me and Dan will always say, like, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen over a year. It's not going to happen over 2 years. Sandy Ward, one of our long-term clients, took fucking 11 years to get into this.
To find the balance.
To phase where she's at, yeah. So when it comes to nutrition, if I have only got in the fucking fridge, right? Because I tend to buy a lot of fresh stuff. If I've only got in the fridge fucking chicken for the fucking third time that day, and I'm not feeling it, I'll fucking stick some waffles in. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'll have some waffles. Yeah. I'll have some shit. I've always got shit noodles in the house. Yeah. Fucking Castor loves them. So I'll have fucking 2 packs of noodles, and I couldn't give a toss. I'll eat some beige food. I don't mind. Actually, the other week, I would have had to marinate my chicken, blah, blah, blah. And I went in the freezer, and there was some fish fingers. I had fish fingers in a wrap. It wasn't exactly the fish finger sandwich what would have really satisfied us in that moment in time. But it was like, I wanted it, and I had it. But it's because I know that all the rest of the time, I'm fine. And yeah, it takes time for all
I think like environment is such an important one with regard to that, because there's so many days where like I'll be coming in thinking, oh, I fancy this and I fancy that. And like you fancy shit food.
Yeah.
But I go in and I open my fridge and my chicken breast's looking at us and there's nothing else.
Like this.
There's no other reason, like we don't have kids, there's no other reason for us to have any foods that we aren't supposed to eat in the house.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, I've got no choice. Like, it's either eat this or eat nothing. So therefore I'll eat it. And once I'm full, I forget all about what I ever wanted. And it's just having that environment in place. If I'd had the shit food in, regardless of how motivated I was, I would have ate the shit food, because in that moment of time, that's what I fancied, because I was hungry. And for whatever reason, I decided in my head I wanted something nicer than my chicken breast.
Yeah.
But the option just wasn't there. So I'm going to eat what's available to us. I'm not going to get in the car and drive to the shop to buy something. And yeah, environment's massive, and that comes down to, it doesn't matter how motivated you are. What it comes down to is the choices that are available to you.
Yeah, it is. It does. Like
I must say, I always think it must be hard for people who live in like a built-up environment. Mm-hmm. For me, if I decide that I want something, like I've got a 2-mile drive to the shop. Like I can't just, whereas if you're in the city, like it must be or like there's a shop right next door, it must be harder because it removes the barrier. It's like, oh, I can just go there and get it. Yeah, I suppose that's the thing with the deliveries now.
Well, this is the thing. So obviously I know a lad who he moved out of his house, big lad as well, moved out of his house, moved into a flat. So this is the first time by himself, obviously got a good job. Underneath was a shop. But because his mum and dad used to always cook for him, he was on Just Eat all the time, like first name with the shop owner downstairs, and got bigger and bigger and bigger.
But it's like most days, the food that you fancy when you're hungry isn't the food you should eat. But if you're then just going to the shop and just picking what you fancy in that moment, then inevitably you're going to make a bad choice. It's like going shopping when you're hungry. You end up picking up all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
It's whatever food you've got available to you, you'll end up eating, and that makes it so much easier to stay on track. And it's little things like that count, not the fact that you're motivated to eat well. It's the fact that you don't have an option not to.
Yeah, that does play into motivation, because it's like your motivation to eat well is getting shadowed by fucking having a fish finger sandwich.
Yeah, it's like your brain's too powerful, and in that moment in time, you're always going to succumb to it, no matter who you are. Like, there's nobody on the planet, no matter what shape they're in, that doesn't enjoy eating those nice foods.
Oh,
it's just is the case.
What they're called, highly palatable foods.
So it's a combination of like salt and sugar and fat, and obviously the dopamine receptors. It sends them crazy, and you want that, like, it makes you feel great, but only if they're there.
Yeah. And
the reason it does it is because you're hungry. Your brain knows that your body needs food, so it's sending all of these signals telling you to go and find the food.
You're not even hungry sometimes.
Once you've had the food, once you've ate something, you'll be fine. And that's always that thing as well of like, I'll often say like, if I'm fancy something, I say, right, you can have it. Like self-talk, I mean, I'm massive on self-talk.
Yeah.
You can have it, but only after you've had that. So if I want to have something nice or like a bit of a treat or something like that, say, right, I'm going to eat my chicken breasts first and I'm going to give it 10 minutes. And then you won't want it. You just won't. You were just hungry in that moment. Now you've got something on your stomach and your brain's calmed down because it's had its food. You're fine.
Do you not have them things off dodgeball where he has like the nipple clamps?
Electric shocks.
It's like the pizza giving himself an electric shock every time he has it.
I do think though, like the more you can understand your brain and your body and yourself, the more control you can give and like recognize your behaviors, recognize your patterns and why you do certain things. Because once you recognize them, you can start to talk yourself down and talk yourself through situations rather than just constantly being reactive. Final one. Do you think people should stop chasing motivation altogether or learn to use it differently?
Learn to use it differently. Although stop it altogether, finding it. Yeah, I think finding motivation is the wrong word to sort of use. Like, if somebody's just there, I need some motivation. It's like, right, I'm going to go on Instagram and like trying to find somebody, and they're like, that gives us like a little boost. But yeah, it's not about finding. It's about using it in the correct way. And I think like what we said at the beginning, understanding that motivation is only temporary, and it's only temporary for a short amount of time. It's like, yes, have your big goal there, but then it's about dissecting it into micro goals along the way, and you use it as a tool. And like I said before, that music, the little hype, that can be that motivator. That what do people used to do, like stick a skinny picture of himself on the fridge, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah, little things like that. Yeah,
like little bits like that. But I think understanding that it's not, if you do have a big goal, it's not about trying to find that motivation to keep going for that goal. It comes back to the habits thing. It always fucking does.
It's habits and barriers.
Yeah.
You need to create barriers between you and bad decisions. I think that's why I love tracking, because it's like once you start tracking and you see the calories that are in things, you'll never ever be able to eat like unconsciously again. You'll always pick something up and in your head it'll be like you can't unlearn it. Yeah. Once you know that a fucking donut's 1,000 calories, say, you can't unlearn that. Every time you pick the donut up, you'll still know. And then you'll make a decision of, I'm either going to consume it regardless or I'm not. But most people never even build those barriers. And the more barriers you can build between yourself and bad decisions, the easier it'll be to stick to the goals. But it's nothing to do with motivation. It's eliminating choice. Yeah,
so let's crush some people's dreams. Domino's Meteor Pizza, that is 3,000 calories.
Yeah.
Fish and chips with curry sauce, that's 2,000 calories
At
easy.
least.
Yeah.
I mean, from a chip shop though, it's like double. Like that's from like Witherspoons.
Yeah.
When you go to a chip shop and they like pile it up.
The big batter on love.
The big one, garlic sauce.
Yeah.
Like them little tubs, like 500 calories plus in a little tiny sauce, tub of garlic sauce. Yeah. Everybody knows the pizza makes you fat. They don't think about that.
Yeah. It's lush as well. There's loads.
Yeah,
I'm not going to crush everybody's dreams.
Go on forever, but
yeah, I think it's just recognizing that use it as a tool. Like use little bits as tools as you go on. Even if you've got somebody who you do like on Instagram and gives you a little bit of motivation and boost, like go on that. Like people, there's probably some people on Instagram who give you a daily motivation thing. I actually used to listen to a podcast years ago, and it was like daily motivation or something like that. And this is early podcast days, the daily fucking something. But it was like literally just a 5-minute American guy giving this little daily push.
I think long term it can definitely help change your thought processes, because like I remember like 10 years ago, like when I was going for walks, listening to like Eric Thomas and that, like motivational things, and like at the time it's probably doing nothing for you, but over the course of your life, by listening to those voices all the time, you pick up on things, and like even though you don't necessarily recognize it in the day-to-day as having an impact on what you're doing, somewhere in your brain, those things stick. If you
Yeah.
listen to those voices for long enough, the things that they say stick in your mind, and you will draw on them without even realizing.
But that's the thing, you've got to create that. But it comes back to the habits. So say if you were listening to like what I used to listen to, when I was listening to it on a daily basis, and the guy, he moved into more like business daily motivations, so daily business motivations, and I love that. I love that even more. So I was like listening to it daily, but I made that a habit, and I listened to that until he actually stopped the podcast.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how much I actually really got in. I wish I remembered now, but who it was. But I listened to that until the day he stopped.
Notice I've just had a little light bulb moment there of like, I think truly when you find the sweet spot with all this, your daily habits become more of a bigger vision in your mind than the end goal. Because most days I completely even forget what my end goal is. I couldn't even tell you what my end goal was really, but I know what I need to do every day.
Yeah.
And that's, most people are the other way around. They know where they want to be at the end, but they don't know what to do day to day. And you can't influence what you do at the end, but you can influence what you do every day.
Yep. I've got some questions for you.
Yep.
What would be your go-to motivation song?
You know, it is, I listen to some
I think we'd covered this
I listen
before,
to
but
some
yeah.
really embarrassing shit. Like, I wouldn't even tell you some of the stuff that's on my, like, training playlist.
Right. Squat. Me and you were going for that 200 tomorrow. What song?
Probably, like, a bit of Motorhead or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I do like, but like I've got like a playlist that kind of like ramps up from like quite calm, chill stuff when I'm doing my warm ups, and then it gets like heavier, then sort of tapers off towards the end.
Business motivation, YouTube, Instagram.
I'm a weird one for like biographies and stories, and like I'm more interested in the things that people have done than the things that they say. Like I love like learning about like people of success, and like I'll watch like documentaries on like all different people from all
like the
different
McDonald's
backgrounds.
ones?
I do enjoy that one,
Yeah.
but like things like I'll watch like Rockefeller's life story and like JP Morgan, like, and I love like learning about like the paths that these people took and like things that they've said, rather than just like,
Snippets.
I'm more interested in actions. I want to know what they did, not what they say.
Uh-huh.
And I'm really interested in just the lives of these people and
watch
like
the Jordan one?
motivations. Is that the shoe one, the film?
Not Shoe Dog, the Michael Jordan documentary. He brought it out a few years ago.
The Last Dance?
The Last Dance,
Yes,
yeah.
I watched all that. Yeah, like biographies, I'm fascinated by any sort of documentaries that follow people like that. I find massively interesting. I love looking into people.
Gym people to get you motivated.
I don't look at gym people for a lot of motivation, I don't think. If anything, it probably goes the other way. Like I'm very when it comes to no. I mean, like it would probably demotivate us in the sense of like so much of what you see on social media is just so far away from what the average person could ever do because of genetic drugs, that sorts of things. It's like I'm very internally motivated when it comes to me training. Like I know what I want to achieve, and I know what's realistic for me, and I know. And I'm very much in my own head when it comes to that. And the reason I want to achieve certain things is very much to satisfy probably my own internal monologue than for anything else.
And last one, I don't know how I've come up with these questions, Dan. 3 of your top books, what have like been inspirational to yourself, motivational to yourself? If you can name 3, obviously.
It's a hard one because so many of the books, I mean, I've probably read more books that are just theoretical than obviously like actually
actionable.
Well, it's more like the science behind stuff, and like that's been very much my goal in terms of what I read, rather than, like I say, businessy stuff.
Yeah, but even those sciencey ones, or like you'll have read stuff and it'll be like, oh, I've got to tell people about this. So there have been motivational in a sense.
Trying to think.
Would you say your nutrition? What's it called? The one you and Sarah have done?
I wouldn't say I don't think I get motivation from those sorts of things.
Okay.
It's just it gives you the knowledge to then do your job.
Yeah.
I remember like being very, very young and like reading like bloody How to Win Friends and Influence People, but like as like almost as a kid, like I don't know why like I was ever motivated to read
Yeah.
those sorts of books at that sort of age. But I think just basic life lessons of like how to talk to people, how to greet people, use people's name, look people in the eye, firm handshake, like just the basics that so many people like miss when they're young, trying to get into a workplace or trying to do anything. They just don't have it. So I think things like that are good. But yeah, most of it's stuff I watch
Right.
and stuff I've like.
Give us one more book. There must be one book. You were telling us about a book the other day.
But again, it's a book on metabolism. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's all just, it's very much, yeah. I mean, I read a thing years ago about minimalism, and I'm massive on that. Like, my biggest inspirations and the people that I respect the most are the ones that have had everything and want nothing. Like, you read about like the original millionaires and billionaires and philanthropists, and they lived these ridiculously like low-key lives. Like, they could have bought everything and they bought nothing other than what they needed. And I've always been like massive on that. That's something I'm really big on. Like, and we live our lives like that every single day. It's never what can we have, it's what can we do without. And that's had a massive sort of played a part in my view of the world and my view of everything. If you can do without it, do without it. Trying to think of anything else.
I would say just to end it, Dan, like, so obviously it's motivational. What's your motivational thing to get people going?
Just think about like we talk about what my overall goal is and like what I want to actually get out of life. And I think I just want my life to have counted for something. So I want whatever it is, the 70 or 8 years I spend on this planet, I want it to have actually meant something. And I think like with what we do in the sense of like we genuinely do change people's lives and make people's lives better. And for me, it's like great if I can look back when I'm 80 and think, fucking hell, like I helped hundreds of thousands of people improve their life and live better lives. And because of that, their families lived happier lives. And that's a massive impact that you can actually have on the world. Look at yourself and just think, what do you want your life to have been, to have counted for? How do you want to feel about it? How do you want to look? How do you want to feel every day? And if you're not happy with where you are in the direction of your life, change it. Do something about it. And once you've made that decision, then you can start looking at implementing all of the little things along the way that can help you do that.
Perfect. Thank you for watching, listening. Links below to Dan's daily tips. Link below to me. And yeah, until next
There we
week.
go. Another one down.